Hyundai loniq 5N revealed with 641 HP in simulated DCT Gearbox. Meet 641 horsepower of electric super crossover with a drift mode and a simulated gearbox. Dual motor powertrain 641 horsepower and 568 pound-feet of torque. When using N Grin Boost mode, 0-62 mil prati ghanta in 3.4 seconds and top speed of 160 miles per hour. Simulated 8-speed DCT with clutch kick function, drift mode and electronic rear limited slip differential. Hyundai has revealed its first ever electric N car, the loniq 5N, proving that the performance brand that focuses on fun doesn't need a combustion engine to put a smile on your face. That doesn't mean the straight-line performance typical of EVs has been tossed out the window, but the brand says the loniq 5N remains true to the three pillars of N performance: corner rascal, racetrack capability, and everyday sports car. So let's get into the meat of it. 641 HP drift-capable powertrain. Like other loniq 5S, the N variant has a dual-motor powertrain. But this one uses the latest generation of A motor after learning from both motorsport and rolling lap development models like the RN22A and Envision 74 concepts. The end result is a standard maximum power output of 601 horsepower and 546 lb-ft of torque, which can be boosted to 641 horsepower and 568 pound-feet for 10 seconds when using the N Grin Boost (NGB) function, a push-to-pass overboost feature activated by a red button on the steering wheel. 0-62 mil prati ghanta takes as little as 3.4 seconds with NGB engaged at 3.5 without it, and the loniq 5N will hit a top speed of 160 mil prati ghanta. Power is continually varied front to rear via the N-top distribution function, and at the rear axle, an electronic limited slip differential (ALSD) balances the torque left to right. High grip Pirelli P0 tires measuring 2.75 at each corner help turn torque into forward propulsion. But if you feel like having a little fun, the ALSD and N drift optimizer will let you send it sideways and keep it there, while a torque kick drift function mimics clutch kick in a rear-driven combustion car to help continue the drift. There are other ICE-derived features too, like simulated sounds including a combustion engine and fighter jet-inspired supersonic sounds and a simulated transmission. Dubbed NA Shift, the system simulates the behavior of Hyundai's 8-speed DCT, controlling motor torque deployment and creating a jolt between shifts for added layers of interaction. The loniq 5N will also alter engine braking and brake regen and brake regen to mimic the chosen gear, with peak regen resulting in 0.6 g of negative acceleration, the highest of any brake regen system currently in road use. This system also fades on the regen sharper on corner entry to initiate rotation and make the loniq 5N feel lighter than its undisclosed weight, which we've been told is higher than the normal N due to mechanical upgrades. The mechanical brakes are equally impressive, measuring 400 mm 15.75 inches up front and 360 mm 14.17 in at the rear. High friction pads clamp down with the aid of 4-piston monoblock calipers up front. The lightweight discs are a hybrid construction, and Hyundai says brake regen nullifies the need for carbon ceramic brakes. Based on the EGMP platform, the loniq 5N has an 800-watt architecture, enabling fast charging and rapid discharge. But the platform has also been strengthened with 42 additional welding points and an extra 82.6 inches of structural adhesive to stiffen things. The motor and battery mounts have also been reinforced, as have the front and rear subframes. A new 84 kWh battery, the highest capacity in a Hyundai to date, can be charged at rapid rates, recouping 10-80% charge in as little as 18 minutes. N-Race mode also helps optimize battery temperature and regen discharge rates to help you stay on track for longer. At each corner, an electronically controlled suspension system adjusts damping based on drive modes and the road beneath you. Other systems which have been developed with the racetrack in mind include the dedicated battery cooling system for track use, as well as oil cooling systems with more efficient radiator packaging and larger surface areas. Typical N styling. Hyundai N styling language is pretty predictable, but that just means the loniq 5N looks as good as we originally envisioned it would. At the front, it wears what is touted as an N-mask graphic fascia, basically a new front end with blacked out elements, a new front bumper and splitter, and a slatted horizontal bar with a luminous orange matte central marker. It looks red, but Hyundai swears it's orange, which is mirrored at the rear. This colored accent is replicated along the bottom of the front fascia, spanning the full width of the splitter, which has upturned outer edges with active air flaps for enhanced brake cooling. Lower, and 2 inches wider, the new bumpers make the loniq 5N longer than base models by an inch up front and just more than 2 at the rear. This is visible in the side profile, but a slight lowering of the suspension and flared arches filled by 21-inch forged alloy wheels make the proportions look more hot hatch than crossover. At the rear, the wing-type roof spoiler has a central divot with the high-mounted brake light, while lower down, brake extraction vents finished in black lend with the chunky bumpers. A rear diffuser gets a race car-style central fog light and gets the same orange treatment as the front lip. 10 colors are offered, including the brand's signature performance blue, which is available for the first time in both gloss and matte finishes. Race-inspired interior. The cabin of the loniq 5N immediately sets itself apart from its siblings with a dark theme. Hyundai says a racing concept inspired the cabin, and testing occurred alongside the current Hyundai WRC car. Important elements here include a lowered seating position, nearly an inch lower, in new racing bucket seats with a pixel design and either cloth, leather or a combination of Eco Alcantara, recycled, and leather. From atop this perch, the driver clasps an all-new N steering wheel. The tiller houses N buttons for pre-programmed driving modes, while a red button positioned at the 3 o'clock mark lets you deploy the full power of N Grin Boost mode. Paddles behind the wheel help you control the NA shift and N pedal functions mentioned above. Additional padding for the knees and shins provides lateral support when on track. Various modes can be controlled from the wheel and cabin, like drag mode pre-programming the battery for short bursts at full power and track mode for more laps. N-Race has sprint and endurance modes, the latter reducing power by 10% and increasing brake regen, again for more laps. Pricing, range, and US arrival will all be confirmed at a later date, but we expect a 2024 launch.